All right. Hello. So we're gonna get right to it. Time is money. Everybody always wants to know this. It's the most important question that we can obviously have in our daily lives. What's your favorite Sunday?
My favorite Sunday?
Your favorite Sunday?
Like the week or like the food?
You know, it could be the week or the food. It could be the food of the week, like your favorite Sunday.
I'm gonna go with ice cream. Just a good old classic banana split.
Good old classic banana split?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the ice cream flavor.
All right then. So, next important question: boxers or briefs?
Boxers or briefs? Briefs. Boxers? Yeah, it's too spacious. It doesn't contain anything. Come on.
You know, I guess that is a whole lot to take into consideration. I mean, at that point, you're just like having these things just flap in the wind, or you might as well just have things flap in the wind. Unfortunately, so perhaps. All right. So, next question: favorite curse word?
Favorite curse word? I say fuck a lot. It's actually
is that just habit, or I
don't know. I think it's more habit than anything. I just say fuck a lot. Like every time I go through a recording, there's gonna be like every now and then I'll come across a 2-minute window. It's just like me saying fuck 16 times, and I'm like, man, I should probably tone that back a little, but like I just can't.
Maybe like 12 times.
Yeah, maybe keep it like sub 10. But I don't know. I need to do it a little less, just because I don't know, it's a little too repetitive at some point. I don't really care much for the cursing side of it.
Okay, so you produce a lot of, dare I say, interestingly creative, hilarious, comedic content. And where would you say you get your inspiration for some of that? Because it is
a little weird.
Sometimes thought-provoking, like, wow, how would he, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Like, where would you say you get your inspiration to make those videos?
That's a hard question. A lot of it comes from just a lot of the people that I watch and just hang out with as well. But some specific content creators come to mind would be like Mountain Dew, Video Game Donkey, if you've heard of them.
I think, recently
I get a lot of Donkey comments, especially.
Oh, yeah, I think, Mountain Dew recently did the remix for the...
Blend W.
Huh?
Blend W.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to say, that one made anime.
He's fantastic at it. It's, like, he liked one of my tweets when I had like fangirled out, which rarely happens. But
I've definitely had those moments. But okay, all right. So I guess, do you have a specific end game for what you're doing right now? Or it's just like, this is what I'm doing right now. It's going great for me. Like right now, I'm just kind of just like riding this wave. Or after this, I have like my 2, 10, 15-year plan.
Yeah, it's a lot more in the moment kind of thing. Because as far as YouTube goes, I mean, it's a business, but it's also just it's a fun passion. Mm-hmm. And it's fun building on it. But as far as that goes, it's just a constant battle for growth or degradation. So you're either going to grow or you're going to stagnate. And it's really difficult sometimes, but if I think like that far ahead of like I need to be at like this count or I need to like do this specific thing, then I won't be focused on just the content that I'm making, because that's more a priority. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing right now. Down the road, I'm sure I can get it figured out. I don't have a long-term plan, if anything. No.
Okay. One of the things that most commonly said about YouTube is that it is difficult to get your start and difficult to grow. Yeah. So what would you say perhaps gave you your edge? What would you say perhaps gave you that small catalyst to be like, you went from this many subscribers doing this sort of thing, and then it just snowballed into just something just...
Yeah, that's actually, so we just did a panel, and we actually got a similar question for like tips and tricks for how to start on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard, especially because YouTube now just hates all of its creators.
It doesn't. I would say it doesn't hate all of its creators, but it loves the ones that have, the bigger budgets and all the money and stuff like that. Yeah, but the original people who like make it YouTube and everything, yes, I would definitely say that they are less than optimally treated.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, because I just don't understand what the direction they feel like taking their platform, because they seem to be losing all of their creator support at the very least. But, sorry, remind me of the question again, just so I get a little more direct.
So, the argument is that it's really difficult for people to start on YouTube or to get that growth. At what point did you have that catalyst moment of, I was at 1,000 and I just jumped to... and I didn't even know what happened. Like, what's going on? What did I do? Like, what was that moment for you?
I have a couple like kind of interesting things with that specifically, but like, so as far as starting on YouTube goes, if you don't do anything unique to start out with, you're going to have an incredibly hard time getting traction. You either need to be unique or you need to be incredibly good at what you're doing. And most people are not incredibly good at what they're doing if they haven't done it before. So that's where I was. I'd never really made videos before, and I threw myself into it, and I was like, I think I like doing this. But then I rewatched my first video several months after I made it, and I was like, that is garbage. That is really bad. But like, you work at it, and then you just keep doing it, and you get better and better. But as far as like a point that kind of started that catalyst, so for uniqueness, for League of Legends, was an online MOBA. I think most people know what it is, but some people might not.
Most people know LOL.
So basically, I started out making custom skins for that. Or, not for them, for me. But I made custom skin on Champion. I would make like something related to the custom skin, whether it be thematically or just related to the music I'm going to put over it. Mm-hmm. But that's how I started. It was unique enough. There wasn't really like much in that content area. And then I had a video called Soraka, like the literal banana, which was, wow, that's a long time ago now. But I turned Soraka into a banana. That's it. And the funniest part of that is that skin was like broken. It was like transparent and reversed, but all those things, like, that just made it, part of that is what made it just funny though. And I was just like, oh, heck it, I'm trying to not say the F word now.
See, unfortunately, it's like now that I got you thinking about it, it's like, yeah,
it's probably good in the end. So it's that. But like that video was the first video I had that got like 10,000 views or so, which was so much back when you're first starting as well. Oh, numbers become increasingly like less. What's a good word for it? Like 1,000 views when you're starting out is amazing. You're phenomenal. Just like, oh my god, that feels crazy. And then like 20,000 views now is like, oh good, that's like around my average. Let's keep going. Like it's it's really bizarre. Just the effect it has on your mentality when you see the numbers come through. Okay. But like that's just part of it.
Now, here's going to be perhaps the other side of YouTube. A lot of articles have recently come out about YouTuber burnout.
I get that.
Okay, how do you deal with that? Because in sort of a with a specific platform where you got to put out things constantly. How do you keep yourself? What is your self-care? How do you take care of yourself that way you don't burn out?
Well, I mean, so part of that, I think it's easy for a YouTuber to get burnt out if they're not enjoying what they're doing. Okay. And YouTube, a lot of people can fall into that hole of like, I need to make a specific type of content or I'm not going to get the views required, like, to keep me alive. And like, I try to avoid that. I basically just don't want to do that. Like recently I stopped making League content. I just don't really want to make content anymore. I still play the game like with friends occasionally, but I just don't really. It's not a focus of mine anymore. And they also removed custom skins over time, which was my whole like niche in that game. So I had like a good out, but like when I started YouTube, that was the plan. I was like, I can enter through League, and I can slowly kind of fade away from that being the main like thing that I want people to watch. And now I just kind of make whatever. It's going pretty well. I'm just it's fun. I have more fun with it. But along with the not just making sure you don't burn out. Is that if you just need to make stuff that you enjoy, and if you make stuff that you yourself are not going to watch, then why would you think anyone else is going to watch it? That kind of idea. But like, I also have like a shit posting channel where I literally I got a dumb idea, I can just throw it up on there. I got a small channel that I recently started where I just get blazed. I just get really high and I just record for like an hour and I just post like the full thing. But it's not hard for me; it's just fun to do. And I do weird things when I'm really high. I live in Denver. But it's one of the things, as long as you have little outlets where you can do something different, that's not just where you work, because work and play are kind of like now one of the same things for me. It's all just hard to kind of mix it all together. But burnout's not something I really fear just because I'm doing stuff that I want to make. So, if I want to take a break, I can take a break at any time, and I will. So,
okay. So, what's the biggest thing? Don't worry, we'll definitely wrap up. What's the biggest thing you want people to take away from your content? Like, I'm not saying like the overarching messages or the moral of the day is like, but like when people go to your channel, what do you want them to like? What do you want your viewers to take away from what it is that you produce for them?
Right, and it's really just about providing like a little tiny piece of happiness or just enjoyment out of the day, because that's all you can really do with it, unless you want to like get across a message or something, which is something I kind of recently started doing. It was more just me sharing my thoughts on things, because a lot of the world seems to just kind of disregard logic at a lot of times, that I think a lot on that.
Oh boy!
But I just kind of go into it, and I just speak my mind in a weird way. I'm really flailing, and I'm talking. But if I have something I want to talk about, I'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing like too touchy of anything. It's as long as I can provide that piece of entertainment, that just little moment of happiness for someone that may or may not need it. You just want it. But that's why.
All right.
It's fun.
Second to last.
Okay.
Best piece of content the piece of content you are most proud of.
Okay, good. So I made a little song / music video, I guess you could call it, called Horsebike. And it's just really funny, and it's just really good time. Whenever I'm streaming and people request the song, just so I can sing along to it, because I assume they want that to happen either way. But so did you play Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yes.
Breath of the Wild. They came out with a DLC that has this bike.
Yeah.
It's a motorcycle, but it's a horse. And I just call it a horse bike. But I made a song on that, and it's just me just making just a weird song, just weird background things, and then it just transitions in the middle to talking about how I want to fuck the fish in the story. The fish girl, Mifa.
Oh,
very
yes.
hot, real hot for a fish. What fish?
No, not
the
your
shark fish.
No, yeah, that's hers.
Sorry, I mean, yeah, that's again, there's Mifa for me, and then Shark Boy for the girls.
But horse bike.
Either way,
all right.
Yeah, horse bike. It's one of those things I have it as like my like the piece of content that people will see when they go to my channel, and like that's what's presented, because I'm just like, hey, this is not exactly what you're going to expect for most of it, but it'll get you in the right mentality for what I'm making. But it's just fun.
Okay. So, last question. What would be a piece of advice that you perhaps weren't given that you know now that you would tell yourself X many years ago? Like, hey, past self, don't do this, or remember to do that.
Oh, man. That's a tough one, because I don't really have anything regretful necessarily in terms of YouTube, because it's all
nothing.
Yeah, it's all a learning experience constantly. It's like, if there's something I would tell myself in the beginning, I don't know. I don't think I could come up with anything specific, at least off the top of my head, just because, you learn from everything, and you're not going to experience it quite the same way if someone just tells you it.
And that's completely fair. I know that, even me doing this.
Even if I'm telling me.
This is definitely going to be a learning experience, but thank you for your time.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
All right. And